Whenever I'm asked, as I was recently, if I think God exists, I'm presented with a real problem. Not because I'm struggling with belief, but I have to decide whether the questioner is one of the majority for whom this is a simple question. I think, don't they know that what they are asking is so complex? And will they be willing to follow me through my answers? But the fact is that the question is asked, and it usually doesn't augur well, because both parts of it imply a naive simplification. Firstly, we have the concept God, and secondly, the concept exists. Usually the God referred to by the questioner is that revealed in or grown out of the biblical tradition, including Jewish, Christian or Islamic, and exists as some simple-minded attribute, existence in the same way that my friend or family or the planet Mars exists. It's sad but not surprising that this is the ground where the debate usually stays and gets bogged down, as it's as much about the search for validation, Ernest Becker type, as he refers to finding reinforcement for our death-denying strategies, as it is about any true investigation of the question of belief. The unuttered question in there seems to me to be, are you one of us? If so, I feel reinforced against my secret doubt. If not, I feel challenged by you. It's sad because it tends to push people into two equally limited positions, theism or atheism. I see it like this. Religion is just one interpretation or response to the universal human experience of mystery. The details of dogma are easily seen, if you are not blinded by unconscious possession, as projections within various cultures of these numinous, earth-moving experiences onto some mythical or historic personage like Yahweh or Christ. It seems that in theist/atheist debates, I'm expected either to make my understanding of these universal human experiences of transformative mystery either conform to religious structures that I have been born into, or much less likely being converted to, or reduce them to nothing but material brain activity and risk weeding them of their power to entrance and to transform. So, for those who will listen to my answer, I infuriatingly move the question to where I think it really belongs. Do you think the experiences religions have commandeered are real? What I'm referring to is those powerful experiences of every life that cause us to transform, grow and become stronger, more human, more understanding, more insightful and more contented. We all know the experiences when we catch our breath or feel tears of joy, love, sorrow welling up in us. Theists construe these experiences in terms of deity. It's understandable because we get swept away in such experiences and feel as if enveloped, embraced by love, purpose or significance. But the sense-making cognitive modules that we are hardwired with, of course, swing into action to ascribe an intention or a purpose to these experiences. As Jung has shown us with many examples, we habitually project this unconscious power from our psyches onto objects or people, real or imagined, around us. Early in our Paleolithic history, these were the parents or the elders or the ancestors, or later imagined beings like nature spirits and gods. But to focus on how these are interpreted rather than on the experiences themselves and how they enhance our humanity is to reduce, maybe to lose, the opportunity to transform. For example, in the Christian religious tradition, there are 7 sacraments, and they've been appropriated into 7 church-mediated events. They're the most important transformative experiences that all humans share, but they become churchified in sacraments. Their power is lost because they focus on the deity rather than the human dimension. These 7 are firstly the central wonder of birth, and which is reduced to baptism by the Church. Second, the liberating experience of forgiveness, which is interpreted by the Church as the sacrament of reconciliation. The third is the joy of shared friendship and food, reduced by the Church to communion. Next, the pride of initiation into one society, Church's confirmation. The fifth is the ecstasy of sexual love, reduced to church marriage. The sixth, the dedicating of one's life to its mystery and mysterious dimensions, its holy orders. And the last, the mystery of death, or last rites. Of course, the celebratory dimension is retained in religious ceremonies, but I reckon more is lost than is gained when we limit the experience to one particular interpretation. But as much as I feel the theistic interpretation of these major life experiences in any life are diminished by naive theism, I think they're also diminished by naive atheism. By this I mean the atheism that is so adamant in distancing itself from God talk that it concedes to religion whole aspects of human experience, and turning its back on God talk turns its back on the rich world of the psyche and insights we should be accessing. These are experiences that save us from our drive to medicate, to our discontent with 21st century life, materialism, competitive grasping, denial of aging, illness, death, blind exploitation of our planet's bounty, and what's probably worst, while knowing this, we're still unable to pull ourselves out of it. Full appreciation of these experiences do this by awakening us to the freely given joyousness of our lives, of meaning, of validation, of those things that allow us to release our white-knuckled grip on the excess. It's pretty widely conceded that such a transformation in consciousness is essential to rescue us as a species from the precipice that we are now blindly staggering towards like hypnotized zombies. If we open ourselves to these experiences without reducing them to the infantilism of supernatural projection, which naive theism tends to do, and which just squanders the power they can release into mindless worship or self-satisfied inflation, we collect their transformative power into our own psyches and gain the strength or wisdom or insight to see the work of love, eros, connectivity and cooperation in life, rather than being forever locked into the evolutionary and cultural programs of survival-driven competition. As I mentioned at the start, the other problem with the question, does God exist, is what do we mean by exists? Without getting all Heideggerian, but armed with the wisdom of Jung, I've learned to understand and explore these experiences as the work of the psyche, which, unsurprising, is Greek for soul. We know the psyche is autonomous, it's not in our conscious control, it's homeostatic, that's self-regulating and self-balancing. It's teleological, it appears to behave as if it had purpose or intention, and it's transformative. It acts in what a theist might call miraculous ways to make us more than we are. These attributes, projected by some onto a being or God, are real. They exist. In this sense, experience is not reduced to merely in the mind, but neither is an independent ontology given to it, the Buddhist concept of 6 sense consciousnesses, rather than the usual Western 5 ones that I've made a video about elsewhere. Reality is a construction from 6 senses, mind or psyche, plus the usual 5. This is the essence of the embodied, as distinct from the more second-hand narrated existence. In the end, what more can we get from existence? What more substantial existence can we ever know? than what we receive through our six consciousnesses, our six senses. Beyond this, we can only rest in the delights of mystery